report, we heard one person call it shameless ring kissing. Even before this meeting, Macron's own aides promised that human rights would be raised, quote, in a general way. Did it feel like to you that they were going out of their way not to make the prince uncomfortable?
Absolutely. I think that it was clear from the beginning, from the moment that President Macron accepted to host MBS, that human rights wouldn't be in the agenda. It is just impossible to host MBS and to have human rights at the same time in the agenda.
So what should democracies do in this situation? It's a very difficult question for some people in regards to receiving controversial leaders. How do you answer it?
I think it is clear. I mean, MBS has no legitimacy inside of the country. The royal family doesn't want him. The people didn't choose him. And the only legitimacy he gets is from Western leaders. So Western leaders have leverage over that. If they want to speak about oil, they can host the Ministry of Oil. If they want to talk about the economy, they can host the Minister of Economy. They can side him. I think it is very easy to make symbolic moves, not to rehabilitate him. But Western leaders are just choosing the easy path.
Yeah, but knowing that the crown prince carries so much influence, is the de facto ruler, hosting these ministers might not be seen to be as effective as hosting the crown prince himself. Is this tantamount to making a deal with the devil?
It is making a deal with the devil. Not only, it is not about human rights in Saudi Arabia only. It is about rehabilitating a dictator that will be a real problem in 10 years. Again, I've repeated this, we are creating a monster that will be unstoppable. So it should be from now on that solutions are provided. If MBS is not stopped now, in 10 years, he will be an ally to the enemies of the West, and he will be unstoppable. If the West really wants to manage the issue now, they shouldn't be short-sighted with short-sighted policies. MBS can be stopped, and Western leaders have power to stop him, and they can do it now without hosting him with the under-merited legitimacy that he has.
Yeah, and thanks to Russia's Vladimir Putin and the war in Ukraine, and the Saudi prince is back in demand. Coming out of this meeting with Macron and bin Salman, there were efforts, or at least pledges for efforts to stabilize global energy markets, supplies of wheat and grains. Do you think the crown prince is good for his word?
Well, what we see is that Saudi Arabia is importing Russian oil to be able to export it. And we've seen from the beginning of the war that Saudi Arabia was not clear in its positioning regarding the war against Ukraine. MBS is an unpredictable, unstable leader, and I don't think that he should be dealt with seriously.
You have a position as a sort of analyst, but this is also a story that affects you personally, doesn't it? Last year, your own sister, Lina, a women's rights activist and social media figure, political prisoner, was freed after nearly 3 years in prison. Talk to us a little bit about that.
Yes, so my sister, Lina, was one of the leaders for the Women to Drive campaign. She was imprisoned for over 2 years, almost 3 years. The Crown Prince himself was involved in the issue, saying that she was a traitor. In a 2018 interview, he said that he had videos of her being a traitor. Of course, these videos have never been shown. My sister was charged based on her activism, and she was tortured by the right-hand men of MBS, including Saud al-Qahtani. So we really see that Saudi Arabia is not reforming. It is not opening up. It is falling into a very dark era led by MBS and by his right-hand men. The situation of women has changed in some parts, but the very foundation of the male guardianship system, which considers women as minors, still exists. Women are still sent to what we call care homes, basically prisons, for disobeying their male guardians. They still don't have anywhere to go when they are abused. So the situation is still pretty much the same for women. And in the global human rights context of Saudi Arabia, we are the darkest we've ever been.
Lina, thank you so much.